Hello, everybody. Just wanted to make a quick video here about some two incredible trades that I made here, despite this incredible market shift that we've had after an incredible 11-year bull run with this particular market. Things have changed. We have the coronavirus COVID-19 upon us, which has brought the entire United States economy and global economy to a grinding halt, particularly the U.S. economy. So what makes a good trader when this type of market shift happens, which will happen inevitably, right? Markets will go in trending. They'll be range bound. They'll trend upwards. They'll trend downwards. They'll go from bull markets to bear markets and back to bull markets. So what makes a great trader is to be able to be nimble and flexible and be able to change your strategy when you need to. Pretty basic one-on-one concept here, trading one-on-one, if you will. You can't use the same strategy 100% of the time. The reason for that is because the markets change. People and investors change the market sentiment despite what's going on in the geopolitical world, the economic, financial world, and so forth. So markets are going to change. So as a trader, you have to have different tools in your tool belt in order to be successful in up markets and down markets. So now that we've entered officially into a bear market, a downward trend market, we're shifting our strategy from your traditional, breakout plays to what I have learned it to be as the fishhook pattern. The fishhook pattern is different and really is a little bit more successful in range-bound or bearish markets. And what we try to do with the fishhook pattern is capture trends where stocks have become increasingly oversold and the selling panic or the selling pressure has recovered or slowed down, and we have some uptick or increase in buying, whether it's from institutional investors, retail investors, or just shorts who have banked hard on their short positions, and now they see it coming back up, and they're buying to cover. In other words, they're buying back their shares to make profits on that. So that adds to the buying pressure, and essentially it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. So there's going to be two I'm going to talk about that I called out earlier this week and banked pretty good on both of them. The first one is Groupon, and as you can see here on March 24th, on Tuesday, 3 days ago, I called it out and I said, look, we're at a price of 79 cents per share. We're at the fishhook pattern. Here's all the basic increase in volume statistics. Looks like they have some good cash on hand. And it looks like we were breaking out of this kind of fishhook pattern. Okay. And I indicated that, I was going to enter. Of course, this is my trading plan. I don't impose this on anybody else. I don't make any recommendations. It's really just for my own purposes. But I indicated in my trading plan that I would enter around 79 cents. I'd put a hard stop at 70 cents and with a target of $1.90, continuing with, a buy signal for myself. So I did. I entered it in the next day. And as you can see, I keep track of the MACD, RSI, and the average directional index for a variety of reasons. Feel free to go to investopedia.com or any other financial site to research and identify and understand what those are. But basically, these indicators help me identify which way the trend is going. As you can see, we see a massive sell-off, and as the sell-off kind of slows down, we do see a basing here on March 19th. We started to get a base and then some increase in buying pressure. Now, I didn't really get interested in it until this day, where I did see that not only had the selling had reversed into some buying here, but it kind of exceeded this base and created kind of like a fish hook. And now we're kind of breaking out of this fish hook. So I identified it and said, look, here you have an oversold pattern, good fundamentals. don't technically have a news catalyst, which is not 100% necessary, but definitely want to look at it in terms of the overall odds of what this play could entail for the next couple of days. We do see some increasing volume as the days go on, and I felt very comfortable getting into this. And so I got in at 79 cents on the next day, right here, where it says 79 cents. And I sold off today at 120, right here into some pretty heavy selling pressure. Well, I guess at the end of the close of the day, it's a Friday. A lot of people close out their positions. A lot of traders close out their positions for the weekend. I didn't want to hold this just because I had already made my 10% profit on this and just wanted to take my singles. I'm not interested in taking home runs unless I have one that's pretty consistent. And I'm glad that I did, because even though it closed at 128, you can see after hours it dropped to 109, which is fine. Look, the big news with this stock this week is the CEO stepped down after hours on this day, which is one of the risks for swing traders holding overnight positions is sometimes news does come out in the after hours. Actually, most of the time, news comes out in the after hours. Sometimes the news is good and positive, sometimes it's bad and negative. But the point is you never really want to trade around earnings because you never know what management will be saying about earnings. You always want to be trading somewhere in between, or maybe leading up into earnings and selling off into earnings. Obviously, this wasn't an earnings play, but I did see some good action here despite the news. And no overhead resistance until about, 218? What did I say the target price was? About 190. So, 190 is right here. So this must have been a long-term, so that's what I was looking at down here. So irrespective of, 190, 218, 321, whatever these overhead resistance are, I knew that this had room to run. And so I got in. Now, the next day, I decided to call out another ticker called ACCO Brands Corporation. So on March 25th, I said, hey, for March 26th, this is what I'm looking at. I'm looking at another fishhook pattern, ACCO. And again, using my same indicators, taking a look at the RSI, MACD with some crossover. The average directional index kind of just tells me the strength of the trend. So it looks like the trend was moving up. As we're moving up, it looks like it was pretty strong. And what's going on with this particular stock is we have, very similar setup to Groupon. But the difference is, we have a high 93% institutional ownership, which is what I like to see, because that's when you have some institutional buyers buying into that trend. We see RSI below 30, which is good. We want to see it kind of approaching 30 and then breaking out of 30. 30 is, of course, is the oversold marker. So you want to see it coming out of oversold. The market direction temporarily, even though we're in a bear market, it has been bullish the last couple of days due to various feds pumping in trillions of dollars, but also Congress actually today passed a $2 trillion stimulus for the American people due to the coronavirus ramifications and circumstances. So that was kind of leading up to today. So the market was bullish with that. A good, strong directional trend. And also a good gap percentage that day that I was looking at it. And I was saying, look, it's kind of breaking out of this base of the fish hook. And so when we look at it, that was the 25th, right? So I said on the 26th, that's what we should buy, or what I should buy, of course. And I'm looking at here, that was like right here, right, on the 25th. So I saw it breaking out here with a strong bullish candle. Candle over candle, and breaking out of this kind of fish hook base and out of the fish hook, with MACD lining up beautifully, and the RSI essentially coming out of the oversold pattern with a strong directional index. And frankly, a lot of my indicators setting up on this particular setup, right? So what I said is I'm going to enter at 451. I'm going to put a hard stop at 415, and the target is right around 607, and this is a clear indication to buy for me. All right, so so what I did is I ended up getting in. I believe, what did I say? I said I got in at 451. And actually, I didn't get in until about 463, I believe, because the market opened up down and I was waiting for a potential dip buy opportunity with the intention of swinging it, right, a couple days. So I got in around 463. And again, I decided to hold it only until today. Definitely has a lot more room to run, but because the market volatility has been pretty unstable from day to day, this definitely has more room to run. But I decided to close out my position. Did not really want to hold too many stocks over the weekend with this so much uncertainty in the market. But again, took my 8%, walked away, and ended up selling here into the close right around 520. And as you can see, it had some late day sell off, closed at 515, and it looks like we're up a penny after hours, which is fine. But again, beautiful trade. And the fishhook pattern is something that's working now. I abandoned kind of the breakout pattern, which hasn't been working. And that's really what you need to do. When the market changes, you need to go into your wheelhouse and determine what are your A+ setups. And always, always, always remember to trade your plan, and of course, have a plan in the first place. But if your stock ticker ends up going against you, remember to cut your losses immediately to preserve your capital. That should be your first and foremost, intention if you ever get into a trade. Understanding that it can go against you at any time. The market owes you nothing. But what we can do is we can increase our odds of these plays by making sure we're, playing the right strategies with the current market conditions, and riding the trends, and being mindful of when to take profits, and also being mindful that we're approaching a weekend with a massive historic bill that was just passed, but also some increased volatility that is creating some unrest in the overall marketplace. So anyway, more on the fishhook pattern as the days come along, but I've officially changed my strategy. This is working now after a number of trades. These are just two that I just decided to present to everybody today. But feel free to like this post, leave a comment. Feel free to subscribe to the YouTube page. Making these videos to help everybody out, to pay it back to some of the people who helped me along the way. All right. Well, thank you very much. Have a great day and have a great weekend.